am Kym Zest, and this here is Pigeon. Welcome. I see there are 4 of you tuned in tonight. Thank you for joining me. If you joined early and you are foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout the intro. You might also use this time to finish setting up. I will not be playing any music, but you are welcome to on your side of the camera. The props I suggest having are some soft, flexible props. Yoga mats work. I'm a big fan of folded blankets or towels. And then thicker, soft props such as pillows. And then stiffer props, I've got yoga blocks and a foam roller. In place of these items, both books and Tupperware can be good stiffer props. The benefit of doing this practice on YouTube Live is not being able to watch and compare to each other, but also knowing that we've set aside this time for a shared experience. We will begin with a short movement flow, followed by a seated meditation. Tonight we will do 4 yin postures before a final relaxation. During this time, there is no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because we will not be adding any force and there is no progression goal. For each yin posture, I will suggest several different setups, beginning without any props and then adding more props and more options to feel different lines of fascial tension. While I demonstrate, even if you're a veteran of this practice, I suggest using that time to explore different positions. Try not to just go right to the default position you did last time. After my demonstration, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time, while you will stay in the posture for 2 to 3 minutes. The position you land in should feel safe to release all muscular effort for a passive stretch where you feel quiet sensations. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. For our movement flow, I'm going to sit leaning back on my hands with my knees up and feet on the floor, feet a little wider than hip width apart, and I'm going to swish my knees back and forth. And you might experiment with feet a little closer together or feet wider apart. And then you're going to land with feet in one direction and knees in the other. And for this, you're going to want padding underneath your knees. So you can either add additional padding, or in my case, I'm just going to scoot my padding forward, scoot my butt off of my pad. There we go. And then I've got my knees pointing to my left hand. I'm going to put my hand closest to my knees down on the floor, and then I'm going to lift up onto my knees and the grounded hand, take my top hand, reach it up and over. I've got a long stretch on the side of my body that's closest to the ceiling, and I might even extend that top leg, reaching long. And then I'm going to slowly return to the ground, lowering my hips. I'm going to take that top arm and place it on my knee and take what was the bottom arm, reaching it up towards the ceiling. Big upright twist. Feel free to adjust the angle so you can feel a line of stretch from the fingers reaching up towards the ceiling, down towards your hip. Then I'm going to lower my hand towards the ground, come up onto my knees, reach up overhead, long side of body stretch, long round of breath here. Then returning to the ground, switching hands, which one is in the air, twist, long and upright. We're going to flow between these two positions. You can flow at your own pace. Take a round of breath in each posture. Taking another round or two. And when you're ready, at your own pace, returning to that knee swish. Allowing yourself to rest on your hands behind you. Gives you a little more room to move your hips. And then we'll do the other side. So go ahead and get yourself set up so that your knees will have padding. On your other side, so the direction my knees are pointing, that's the hand that's going to go on the ground. I'm going to lean onto that hand, lift onto my knees, take my top arm, reach it long, and then I'll extend that back foot, long side body stretch, and then sitting back down onto the ground, bringing what was the floating arm to my knee. Grounded arm reaches up. Find the position, the level of twist, the lean. Right? You might even choose to bend the arm. And then coming back to grounding the arm, reaching up onto your knees. Extending the top leg long, round of breath. Sitting back down, grabbing your knee, finding a twist that feels good for you. And then flowing between these two poses. Go ahead and go at your pace. Full breath in each posture. Taking another round or two. Moving slower or faster. And when you're ready, coming out, wiggling whatever feels like it needs wiggling, rolling shoulders, neck. Then we'll get ready for our seated meditation. And for this, you want to feel fully comfortable with as little physical distraction as possible. And so sitting in a chair is a perfectly acceptable option. If a chair is nearby and handy, you just want to feel like you can sit upright, nice and strong and supported posture. So if you're sitting on the floor, you can sit with your legs folded back underneath you, with your legs extended out in front of you, or sitting cross-legged. With any of those options, sitting propped up is a really great option to give you a little more room in the hips and a little less pressure in the joints. So whether it's a stiffer, larger prop, or just an extra folded blanket or pillow, sitting with your hips propped up is generally more sustainable. So go ahead and try some different setups, different leg positions, different props. Even sitting in a chair, you might want to prop underneath the hips or underneath the feet, behind the lower back. And as you settle in, you can have your hands palm up, palm down, or clasped in your lap. Eyes closed or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice its sound, its sensation, its movement. And right now, without any need to change the breath, simply noticing what is there. Now on the exhale, feel your abs draw in, compressing all the air out. An active, engaged exhale. With the inhale, allow the abdominals to relax and allow air to feel like it floods back into your pelvis and into your belly. Exhales where the abdominals draw in, compressing air out. Inhales that relax abdominal tension, air floods back in. Now let your inhales expand, feeling breath move not just in the belly, but towards your back, your shoulder blades. Inhales that expand towards your arms, the sides of your ribs. Inhales that stretch the spaces between your ribs. Inhales that lift your collarbones. Now allow your breath to return to an unaltered, natural rhythm, and let your mind simply follow your breath. After taking another round or two of breath, nod your chin towards your chest. Opening your eyes fully, and then reintroducing movement. Perhaps rolling wrists, wiggling fingers, petting your props. Introducing some movement, side bends or twists. Freeing your legs. And then for our first yin posture, we're going to lie down on the ground, on your back. I'm just getting all my props out of the way for the moment. Lying down on my back, I'm going to walk my legs towards the left, leaving them parallel and both of them on the ground with both hips supported on the ground. I'm going to begin to feel a line of tension along the outside of the right side of my body, from specifically the right outside of the right knee to outside of right hip, possibly into the torso, and it may extend below the knee and above the ribs. I might leave my legs parallel, or I might cross right leg over left. And then I'll shimmy my shoulders to the left, extending the arc. And then I'll take my right arm and bend it, and I might stop right here, feeling some opening and gentle stretch in the chest, armpit, rib area, or I might extend it more overhead. I might leave my head in neutral, or I might change my head position. Looking for a long line of fascial tension on the right outside edge of my body. And I want to feel fully supported and comfortable. If you're not fully supported, or if you've gone too far and too aggressive with the stretch, then your muscles will still be tense to hold on and keep you from injuring yourself, to feel safe. So you want to feel like it's quiet and subtle enough so that the muscles don't need to work. You might need to prop anywhere you feel too much pressure with the floor, but you might also feel like you need to prop an arm up. So simply adding some height for an arm, or padding underneath the head or knees. So I might put those blankets underneath my knees. So adjust where you might want some padding, where you want that arm, legs crossed or straight. And as you settle in, letting go of effort, letting yourself feel supported by the floor. Let each breath be a renewed opportunity to sink in a little bit deeper. Distractions are natural and normal, whether they come from my side of the camera, in your environment, or from within yourself. Allow yourself to acknowledge them, and then let them pass like clouds, coming back to your breath, noticing the sensations inside you. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Feeling your breath be the first active movement you take. And then using these breaths to help you come out, bringing your head back to neutral, your arm, bringing the legs back to neutral. And you may choose a transition of simply lying in a neutral space, noticing the effects, or you might choose more active counter pose, stretching legs up towards the ceiling, stretching out long with arms and legs, perhaps bridging up the hips, or curling tight into a ball. Using this time for any movement or stillness that calls to you. Then when you're ready, in your own time, setting up the other side. Walking my legs to the right, leaving them parallel or crossing left over right. Shimmying my shoulders to the right, creating a long line of fascial stretch along the left outside of my body. Adjusting my left arm and head. Finding that place that feels like a very gentle, long opening. And then finding the pillows, blankets, anything that was going to support or pad the position to allow you to fully relax, to allow you to feel fully supported. And then letting go of fidgeting and fussing and adjusting, letting go of judgment and analysis. Allow yourself to simply watch. The sensations will shift and change, but there is no need to create change or to seek change. Some sensations that started out more intense may fade, allow them to go. And some sensations that weren't there before might appear, allow them to. Allow yourself to simply observe the shifting sensations inside you. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Feeling your breath change the sensation of this posture. And then gently coming out, bringing your head back to neutral, your arms, your legs. And again, taking that transition that calls to you, whether it's stillness or movement. For our next yin posture, I'm going to have to slide pigeon out of the way. Sorry, dear. We're going to do a posture that we're going to feel lines of stretch in the pelvic region, in the groin, and inner thigh is the primary area that we're going to feel. Even with minimal props, I'm going to need padding underneath my knees. And your knees may be only a little bit wider than hips or quite a bit wider. Starting with just supporting on my hands. I might have my knees bent so that my feet are more in, or extending my knees out a little bit more oblique angle with the knees. And then finding an angle that's both good for the knees, but also either more forward or sitting back. Sitting back is generally going to create more intensity, but find that place. It's not a competition with yourself or others. Find the place that feels good, that feels like you can stay and relax. And you might just choose to stay here on your hands, or you might choose, should have brought these closer. I might choose to prop underneath my belly, underneath my forehead, or I might choose to prop up on my forearms. And make adjustments of the knees, the angle front to back, level of support, and height of your torso. So go ahead and keep fussing and fidgeting, trying at different angles, lots of variables. And then settle in. It may feel unfamiliar. Allow yourself to discern the difference between sensations that are actually dangerous that you need to respond to, and sensations that simply are unfamiliar and uncomfortable, that you can breathe into, relax, and realize no response is necessary. Can you feel safe enough to let go of a little more tension? Lengthen and deepen your breath. And begin by using your arms to help you lift up. And very gently bringing your knees back in and underneath you. Coming to a hands and knees position, you might just stay here. You might sit back into a child's pose with your knees together. Or you might choose a more active pose, a downward dog, twisting. Or from hands and knees, waving through the spine. Twisting side to side. I have to move my cat prop. When you have pet props, sometimes they are not as helpful. For the next yin posture, I'm gonna feel line of stretch through the chest, through the arms, through the upper arms, through the armpit area, the lats, all through the front and possibly into the ribs and abdominals as well. So with no other props other than padding underneath my knees, I would have my arms extended and my hips roughly over my knees. If you sit too far back, then it becomes hard to target the upper body. So a little bit forward. And I might have my chin on the ground or my forehead. I might have palms down and arms pretty straight, or I might go palms down and elbows bent. I might also choose to go palms facing in, palms facing each other, or almost palms rotated up towards the ceiling. And another variation is to hold on to something so that you can have palms facing in and have the elbows bent. Other propping options can to be prop the wrists up. In this case, I'm going to use that foam roller. Or I might choose leave the arms on the ground, but let my forehead get some support. And any combination or invention that allows you to feel that line of stretch and support through the chest, through the shoulders, possibly upper arms, and possibly into the upper abdominals. As you settle in, with each breath, asking yourself, Where else can you let go? Where are you holding on unnecessarily? It might be in your jaw or your forehead or even your feet. Lengthen and deepen your breath. Very gently and carefully using your arms to help you sit up. Coming back into hands and knees. Again, taking any variation, any movement or stillness that calls to you. So for our last yin posture, we are going to do a squat. And we're going to feel lines of fascial tension, perhaps in the sole of the feet, the backs of the ankles up into the calves slightly, then into the glutes, along the spine, all the way up the spine into the back of the neck, and then possibly even into the brow. Without any props at all, I might choose a wide stance with my feet or a narrow one. And in either case, allowing the heels to sink as close to the ground as works for you, allowing the head to round, allowing the arms to be soft, either with the wide leg or narrow variation. Now, in many cases, this feels too intense or too unstable. So if I'm facing a prop, I might choose to lean into the prop this way, or I might lean into the wall, or in my case, the bookshelf, with my back. Other options are to prop the heels. So with a folded soft prop, if I simply prop the heels, right, that might feel more comfortable. Or I might choose to sit on a prop as well. And then allowing the head to relax is important, but it might feel too intense. So I might choose to support my forehead as well. Looking for lines of fascial tension, soles of feet, backs of ankles, moving up the legs, and then into the glutes, along the spine, all the way up into the brow. So finding any variation of support that will allow you to rest and release. Allowing your breath to be enough, allowing gravity to do the work, trusting that when you let go, you will still be safe. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. So you gently come out of the posture. You might choose to rock. You might choose to twist. You might choose to extend the legs. As you take any movement that calls to you, we'll be making our way, lying down, For your final relaxation, and you might choose to prop underneath the knees. You might choose to use a blanket or prop over your eyes. You might roll a soft prop underneath your neck. Allowing yourself to lie in a completely comfortable, neutral place. Bring your attention to your legs. Gently engage the muscles of your legs, bringing tension and strength to your toes, to your calves, pulling up on your kneecaps. And then release. Feel your legs hang heavy on the floor. Feel your feet roll towards the sides of the room. Bring your awareness to the sensations in your arms. Bring muscular strength and engagement, perhaps making fists, tightening your arms, straightening, feeling the strength through your shoulders to your fingers. And then release. Feel your hands be soft. And your shoulders rest into the floor. Bring your awareness to your torso. From your pelvis to your collarbones. Brace your core. Feel your abs engage. Feel your glutes tighten. Press your shoulder blades into the floor. And then release. Feel your breath come easy and soft. Bring awareness into your throat and head. Feel engagement. Clench your jaw. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Furrow your brow. Stiffen it through your neck and throat. And then release. With your body fully relaxed, let your mind find ease in following your breath. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Open your eyes. Reintroduce movement. Stretching fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Perhaps stretching out long and big before hugging in tight as a ball. And rolling onto your side, using your arms to help you sit up gently. Find a comfortable seated position. And we will conclude with 3 breaths together. We will inhale through the nose and exhale audibly out the mouth. Together, inhale through the nose. In through the nose. Last one. Thank you, the 5 of you, for joining me tonight. You are welcome to share your experiences, ask questions, or provide feedback. You can do so in the chat of this live feed. You can also email me, Kym, K-Y-M, @zested.net. Visit our website to join our mailing list to stay in the loop on any updates, and then also follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more fun information and things to share. If you value this service, you are welcome to either donate to PayPal at paypal.me/zested. It's on the screen. You can also share this, email, social media, whatever works for you. Spread the word. Any of that is appreciated. Have a good night. Thank you.